Minnesota Twins, the Upper Midwest quickly embraced a new set of heroes.
400th Major League homer for Harvey.
In the 50 years since, for the generations that followed, the faces changed, and the venues did too. There were Frosty Malts, Homer Hankies, and now the splendor of Target Field. And through it all, men who played the game found a special place in Twins territory.
And we'll see you tomorrow night.
Individually, they were Hall of Famers and MVPs, batting champions, and homegrown stars who lit up the hometown stage. Collectively, they formed an elite group, and their achievements are celebrated this weekend. A season-long celebration of 50 years in Minnesota culminating this weekend when the final game of the series with the Texas Rangers coming up, the Twins with a chance to sweep the Rangers and perhaps extend their lead in the American League Central. And welcome to Target Field. I'm Dick Bramer, and for those of you who have a weakness for men in uniform, here he is.
And it's a good uniform, Minnesota Twin uniform. What a lot of fun we had down there.
Well, it's been a great, great weekend, and the Twins have played pretty good ball, too, to win a couple of games from a very good baseball team. And Nick Blackburn hoping to contribute to a sweep here today.
Yeah, Nick Blackburn, remember, he was sent down to the minor leagues. He got some starts in down there, and then he made his first start in Texas. He pitched extremely well, even though he lost 4-0. His last outing, a 1-0 shutout against the Seattle Mariners, where he went 8 2/3 innings. And, you know, he got his start pushed back here to this afternoon because Thursday night in that 13-inning ball game, Blackburn came out of the bullpen. He ended up losing that ball game on a pretty good pitch to Gerald Laird. Well, the Texas Rangers, it'll be C.J. Wilson on the mound. This is his third start against the Twins. One very good, one not so good against the Twins. This left-hander has been a nice surprise to the rotation for the Rangers.
Well, the Twins have responded very well since the disappointing loss on Thursday. When we come back, we'll pay tribute to a man who yesterday entered the Twins Hall of Fame, Greg Gagne. By Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Arby's. Come into Arby's today for their new $1 value menu.
Welcome back to Twins Baseball on My 29 as the Twins go for the sweep of the Texas Rangers here this afternoon. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Rich, and the Twins are celebrating 50 years in Minnesota by honoring their top 50 players. And yesterday, the Twins opened the doors to their Hall of Fame to yet another great, Greg Gagne. And now we want you to know more about Greg Gagne, and here is his story told by his former teammate, Frank Viola.
He was the shortstop on both Twins World Championship teams, and he was a true unsung hero in those postseasons of 1987 and 1991. Greg Gagne wasn't the dominant hitter, wasn't the flashy fielder, wasn't an all-star or a gold glover, but few teams go all the way without a good shortstop. And Greg Gagne was that and more during his 10 seasons in the Twins uniform.
Pretty well hit. This ball is going to go.
In the 24 ALCS and World Series games in 1987 and 1991, Gagne had 4 big home runs and 5 doubles among his 19 hits, scored 12 runs, and drove in 10 more. Defensively, he did not make an error in the 12 postseason games played in the Metrodome. He was rock solid and often was unnoticed until he ran the bases. Although he was not a proficient base stealer, there was no Twin better at going from first to third or turning a double into a triple.
And this is going to be an inside the park home run. Here comes Gagne.
And there were his 3 inside the park home runs, tying for the most in club history, including being the only Twin to have 2 in a game. Steady and solid and an exciting base runner, that was Greg Gagne, one of the best shortstops to wear a Twins uniform. Greg Wong, St. Paul Pioneer Press.
to start this first game of this 3-game series here on Friday night.
Twins playing their quotation marks now Legends game before the game broadcast on Fox Sports North. And we had a little we wanted to make the distinction that this was a Legends game and not an old-timers game. And now having
everybody's hurt.
The way the game was played, from what I saw, I don't know, maybe we could call it an old-timers game. Kent Hrbek introduced, already pulled a hamstring, just coming after the introduction.
Gagne, my goodness, Greg Gagne was inducted into the Twins Hall of Fame. He looks in great shape.
Gaetti started the game with a double down the left field line. And Hrbek coming home. Here's the highlight of the whole day. Look at the divot that Kent Hrbek took in foul territory.
I was down in the dugout. I was watching his reaction after he kind of backed off away from that. Look at him right there go, whoa. I could bury maybe my pet parakeet in that.
Well, it was such a rousing success. I wouldn't be at all surprised if the Twins didn't try to do it again sometime next year. The fans just loved it. Congratulations. I'm assuming you did take the elevator up here, however.
No, yes, I did. Thank you.
Verizon batting order for the Rangers. Former Twin Christian Guzman leading things off. Michael Young, David Murphy, Vladimir Guerrero, Nelson Cruz, Ian Kinsler, Mitch Moreland, Matt Trainer, and Julio Bourbon hitting ninth.
And the Schmelz Countryside Volkswagen Scouting Report on Nick Blackburn, making his 21st start. His 23rd appearance, his second start against the Rangers. Again, 2 starts ago. Very good. He pitched very good, but he got shut out 4-0 in a quality start against the Rangers in Arlington back on August 23rd. And the reason I think that, Dick, that, we've seen Blackie pitch really good, too, the last 2 times. His sinker's back. He's getting a lot of ground ball outs. Over his last 2 starts, he's had 21 ground ball outs, only 8 fly ball outs.
Christian Guzman leading things off, playing against the Twins. Of course, he signed a deal with the Washington Nationals, traded over to the Rangers. Off to a very slow start with the Rangers. Got out to a 3-for-33 start. Spent some time on the disabled list. And now he's up there with a 2-0 count.
Yeah, for the Nationals, he hit .282 with a couple home runs. He drove in 25 runs.
It's Ron Washington, who made quite an impression in the Legends game. Here's a bouncer to second, and an easy play for Hudson. Guzman retired 1-1. Before Michael Young gets to the plate, check out the defense for the Twins, brought to you by Northland Ford. Delman Young in left, and Art Span in center, Jason Repko in right. Got Tolbert and Hardy on the left side of the infield. Hudson and Kadire on the right side. Mauer back behind the plate. Repko in right field. The Twins calling up Ben Revere. After the game last night, he's here, and he gives the Twins an extra outfielder at a time when they really need one. And to add him to the 40-man roster. And Matt Fox, who pitched his tail off here 2 nights ago, has been designated for assignment.
Yeah, again, Matt Fox did a great job, 5 2/3 innings, and then Alex Burnett. I mentioned the other night, Dick, that 7 innings were pitched by guys that were not here on Thursday night, on Friday. So, Matt Fox, great job.
1-1 to Michael Young. There are games that are hard to lose. Thursday was one of those. You just have a bad taste in your mouth when you lose a game like that because you didn't play well. The Twins didn't play well. They lost the game. Your greatest fear is that after a game like that, somehow you'd have a hard time. Here's a drive to right center field. Span over, and he'll knock it down, and Young will be held to a single. So Span able to cut it off and keep Young to a single base hit. But your biggest concern is, it was such a bad night, and that's going to, mushroom into something into the weekend, and it's going to be a really tough go for the Twins. But in reality, they've come back with 2 very good games.
Yeah, I think that's the game of baseball. And Ron Gardenhire, he's basically will tell them, hey, that was just an ugly game. You know what? The sun will rise tomorrow, and we need to be game ready, and they have been in the first 2 games here.
Here's David Murphy hitting third. And the Rangers fortifying their outfield crew. Jeff Francoeur acquired a little while ago, and Murphy takes a strike on the outside corner.
Well, this is where we've seen Blackburn over his last couple starts get a couple ground ball double plays behind him. He's had 17 double plays turned behind him so far this year. Blackburn again making his 21st start of the year.
Down and in, 1-1. Blackburn started against the Rangers, and that happened to be the game. Not only did he not get much run support, he didn't get much hit support. Twins were almost no hit by Rich Harden.
Yeah, he did give up 2 runs in the first inning and then 1 more in the 5th and left with a 3-0 deficit. And the Twins ended up losing 4-0.
That looked like his changeup, which he's thrown a lot more since his recall.
Yeah, you know, what's one thing, you know, that I think what they wanted Blackburn to do is to go down and use all his pitches. You know, when he was getting hit around, you know, about a month and a half ago, that everything was up in the strike zone.
And coming in at about the same speed.
And what they wanted him to do is just go down, trust your fastball, to concentrate down, and then when you get ahead in the count, then mix in your other pitches, the curveball, the slider, and the changeup. That's a good little hitter right here, David Murphy. This kid has really impressed me. Rangers got him from the Boston Red Sox, where the Red Sox drafted him number 1.
How many can they get here? 1. Safe. Murphy, coming out of that left-handed batter's box, is able to beat out the relay 2 away.
Yeah, he hit a ball here the other night almost the same way. Off the end of the bat, slowly to J.J. Hardy, and Hudson did everything he could to straddle the bag and to get it over there as quick as possible. But Murphy down that line pretty quickly. Good shovel pass right there to Hudson. Good strong throw, but Murphy just beats it out.
Vladimir Guerrero hitting cleanup. Josh Hamilton left the game yesterday, second game in a row where he's left because of an injury, but it was a different injury. Crashed into the wall, banged up his ribs. And Guerrero taking over the cleanup spot, fouling it away.
This against Delman Young in yesterday's ballgame. Hamilton going all the way back, and then as he went up, he came back. And during that time, Ron Washington went out there along with a trainer to see if he was okay. His next at bat, you could see he's still hurting a little bit.
So the same thing happened to him earlier, where you collide with the fence and your arm, your elbow, all the bones in there just kind of get mashed against your ribs. And so Hamilton a little banged up. Elvis Andrus, their shortstop, left the game yesterday, and they didn't exactly get encouraging news on Cliff Lee while they've been in Minnesota. Pulled foul.
Well, one thing the Rangers have is they have an 8-game lead. So, you know, unlike the Twins have a 3.5-game lead. Chicago won both games yesterday in Boston in that day-night doubleheader. You know, when you have an 8-game lead with, you know, maybe 25 games to play, you can rest some of these guys. The Rangers have to get ready for the latter part of September. They're going to win their division. Oakland and California, the Angels are not going to catch them. So now you have a chance to rest some of these guys. You know, get the pitching order in place, so when they do get into postseason, everybody's where they're supposed to be.
That said, Oakland trailed by 10 games before this series started, and now they've won a couple of games while the Rangers have lost. Cliff Lee's back still sore after getting a shot a couple of days ago. Swing and a miss, and Blackburn has a good first inning. Stranding a runner aboard, no score after a half. Twins in the series finale. Denard Span leading things off. Orlando Hudson, Joe Mauer, Michael Cuddyer, Jason Kubel, Delman Young, J.J. Hardy with a good series going. 3 hits yesterday. Matt Tolbert had a good game yesterday. Jason Repko, all facing a guy who's pretty tough overall, particularly against left-handed hitters.
And our Schmelz Countryside Saab scouting report on C.J. Wilson, making his 28th start, his 3rd against the Twins. He has not lost since the All-Star break. Over his last 9 starts since the break, 7-0 with a 1.99 earned run average. And this is a guy over the last 4 or 5 years. He came up as a starter, but he didn't fare too well. Put it in the bullpen, did a great job, got some saves. But this year, in his first season of starting, having a great year. 14-5 with a 2.88 earned run average.
Very tough against lefties. Lefties are hitting just 124 against C.J. Wilson. And the Twins have Span, Mauer, and Kubel in the lineup. And Span's actually hit Wilson pretty well. 4 hits and 11 at bats, and got a couple of hits against them in Texas 2 weeks ago. 1 strike. And strike 2.
Saw 2 breaking balls right there from Wilson. C.J. Wilson, Christopher John Wilson. Good fastball. He'll hit 93, 94. Good curveball, that slider, and a changeup in his 6th season with the Texas Rangers.
And Span checks his swing, 1-2. Made the conversion to relief pitcher back in 2006. Shortly after he had Tommy John surgery in 2004. 1-2 to Span. And a flare to left. And Murphy makes the catch. 1 away. Oakland Ford defense for the Rangers. A minus Andrus and Hamilton. Some changes. Murphy in left, Bourbon in center, Nelson Cruz in right. Michael Young at 3rd. Guzman had been playing some at second base. He's the shortstop. Then Kinsler at 2nd. Moreland at 1st. And Trainer behind the plate. Yeah, Guzman acquired because Ian Kinsler was on the disabled list. And so he played some at 2nd. And now with Andrus out, Guzzi playing where he played for the Twins. Here's Orlando Hudson. And there's one hit up the middle. Guzman to his left. Can't flag it down. And Hudson's aboard with a soft single to center.
A good piece of hitting right there, jumping on that first pitch from Wilson and hitting it softly up the middle. Now Wilson, right-handers, hitting only 227 off him. Opponents overall 205. That's the lowest batting average against any pitcher in the American League. So he's been one tough cookie.
And Mauer has really struggled against C.J. Wilson. Just 1 for 17. I'd venture to say that Joe isn't 1 for 17 or worse against anybody else in baseball.
I have to agree.
So this is maybe the toughest challenge Mauer has had to face here in his major league career, facing C.J. Wilson. Mauer got yesterday off. Drew Butera and Carl Pavano in tandem again yesterday in a Twins win.
Yeah, good job by Pavano, winning his 16th game of the year, 8 innings. Rob Delaney made his major league debut and did what I did. First hitter he ever faced, hit a home run, and then he got out of the inning.
Oh, Mauer hit by a pitch. I'm curious where that got him. Remember in the Detroit Tigers series, Phil Coke got Mauer right on the right elbow, his throwing elbow, and he's had his elbow wrapped ever since. That sounded like it got him more in the back area.
Yeah, that's the 10th hit batter that Wilson has hit this year. You can see that two-seamer. He's trying to run in on Joe Mauer. And got Joe Mauer in the back.
So now Wilson with 2 men aboard facing Michael Cuddyer. Cuddyer just has 1 hit against C.J. Wilson.
3rd time that Mauer has been hit this year.
That sails up and away, ball 1. We talked a little bit about this when we faced the Twins, faced Wilson in Texas. He's been a relief pitcher for a long time. Last year, a career high 73 2/3 innings pitched. Well, because he's been starting and he's been so effective, he's pushing the outer limits of what anyone would have thought he would at the start of the year.
Yeah.
And to this point, he's been pitching great.
Yeah, he really has. Again, he has not lost since the All-Star break. I'm sure Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, has been kind of cutting down his in-between, sessions on the mound to keep that arm strong. 171 2/3 innings coming into this ball game. He's given up only 127 hits. He has walked 77 with 140 strikeouts. Good
There's a
change
strike,
up
2
right
and 1.
there.
Wilson through it all has been quite a story for the Rangers, and the Menards key stat among the league leaders in earned run average.
Yeah, Clay Buchholz with the Red Sox leading with 2.25, and how about Hernandez 2.238, but what is he, 10 and 10?
Yeah. 2 and 1 to Cuddyer. Twins trying to break out on top. And of course, they had a great first inning yesterday, scoring 5 times.
And Felix Hernandez with the Seattle Mariners have had a tough time scoring runs for any of their pitchers.
2 and 1. Wilson to Cuddyer. And now 3 and 1.
He tried that changeup again, and he turns over. Now he's kind of put himself into a fastball situation for Cuddyer.
Good to see Jason Kubel back in the lineup. He's in the on-deck circle. And Wilson swipes his glove like a pitching rubber, not real happy with his start here. Well, it'd be the last thing the Rangers would need if for any reason C.J. Wilson isn't as effective as he's been all year long for them, with the struggles that Cliff Lee is enduring physically and otherwise. So a big pitch here early on with runners at first and second, 1 away, and a hitter's count to Cuddyer. Wow. He wraps a breaking ball over the outside corner.
Shows a lot of confidence right there, not only to Cuddyer, but everybody else on the Twins bench that, hey, don't just look for the fastball. This is that little slider, and he works the outer half of the plate. Now, as a hitter, I'm sure Cuddyer saying, is he going to come back with it, or is he going to throw that fastball, or is he going to throw the changeup? It's like he's got pretty good control of all 3 pitches.
Wilson being very deliberate. Now a 3-2 to Cuddyer. Runners go, and the pitch drilled to left center. Bourbon going back. He won't get there, and 2 runs are going to score. Cuddyer got a fastball, and he blasted it.
Boy, Dick, I'll tell you what, it almost looked like a changeup. It looked like Cuddyer was a little out front. But Cuddyer, hitters sit on that fastball. You talk to them, and then they make the adjustment. The ball was up in the zone. Looked like a little changeup right there. And Cuddyer just smoked it. Got the barrel of the bat out over the head of Bourbon. And just like yesterday's ball game where the Twins scored 5 runs in the first inning, they had a couple so far here in the bottom of the first.
So here is Kubel back in the lineup after being drilled by Phil Koch a few nights ago. Mauer got hit by Koch, so did Kubel, and Kubel, it's easy for me to say, I didn't get hurt, but it appeared that Kubel's hit by pitch was going to be more severe than Mauer's.
Well, Brendan Inge had the same thing done for the Detroit Tigers, broke that little bone in his hand right there, and he missed a couple weeks. And it's good to see Jason Kubel okay.
Swing and a miss, 1-1. Initial x-rays showed no break, and then it didn't get any better the next day or two, so he got another exam. They found no break, a lot of ice, and Kubel working his way back into the lineup. So who's he get? C.J. Wilson.
A tough lefty.
1-1. And a strike on the outside corner.
Kubel 3 for 9 lifetime against Wilson with a couple walks.
And a couple hits against him in Arlington, Texas. The Twins only had 7 hits against Wilson. Ooh, outside corner, and Kubel doesn't like it.
He doesn't like that right there. Tim Timmons
away from home plate.
Yeah, you can tell you don't want to argue with that umpire in your first at bat. But you know what, Kubel right here, that pitch a little bit outside. Jason thought. And he let the umpire, Tim Timmons, know about it in a nice way, as good as I guess you could without getting into his face.
And here's Delmon Young trying to get Cuddyer in from second base. Outside, a ball. It was Young hitting the deep drive. Hamilton caught it and paid the price for it. And Young's average now down 300 after a couple of hitless ball games. And outside again, 2-0. More first inning runs for the Twins, leading both leagues in first inning scoring.
117 runs the Twins have scored now on the year in the first inning.
There's a fastball in the outside corner. 2-1. Breaking pitch, tap foul, 2-2. Last meeting of the year between these two teams. The Twins have won all 5 here, won 1 of 4 in Texas. So they've won the season series with a possible playoff opponent should the Twins get there. Right off the end of the bat. Still 2-2.
Wilson's throwing a lot of pitches here this first inning. 22 pitches, 14 have been strikes. He's coming off a start in his last start in Kansas City, where he worked 7 2/3 shutout innings against the Royals. Rangers won that game 3-0.
Two and two to Delmon Young. That's 3-2. Young thought it might have been ball 4. Nearly twirled the bat away. And now Ron Gardner is going to check on the count too. The Twins dugout apparently had the count at 3-1. And I don't know whether the scoreboard might have had the wrong count. At any rate, Tim Timmons pretty sure.
Well, remember he fouled that one over here, and then he fouled one to the right too. I mean, over by Scotty Alter, then off the end of the bat. So he definitely has 2 strikes on him.
And now 3. So Young is called out on strikes. Tim Timmons rings up Kubel and Young. The Twins are done, but they score 2 in the first.
quickly up 2-0 thanks to Markel Kadayer's RBI double. I'm Jim Rich down here in the dugout, and there's a new face in the dugout today. Ben Revere was called up from Double-A today. Got here this morning, and he was excited to be a Twin, but then what really put a charge in him was when he saw who his locker mates were. Justin Morneau on one side and Jim Thome on the other. Pretty impressive roommates and some guys that he can learn a few things from here in his time with the Twins. Dick and Bert, back upstairs to you.
Thank you, Jim. And if things get really dicey, you can hide behind either one of them.
I'll tell you what, you'd sit between those two guys as far as your locker. You better keep your mouth shut and keep your ears open.
Hey, what do you think of the umpiring today? We had some media members, Don Shelby, Randy Shaver, Jim Rich, and Joe Schmidt umpiring your
Don Shelby game. Showed me nothing, because after I threw that ball behind Ron Washington, he came out and said, if I do that again, he's going to throw me out. Next pitch up and in to Ron Washington. He didn't throw me out.
Bouncer to third. It's a foul ball.
I wanted out of that game.
By the way.
Hey, Bert, we were told by Tom Kelly that you wanted to get out of this game, and he said no matter what he does on the mound, keep him in the game. And so Mr. Shelby was following Mr. Kelly's orders.
We had a lot of fun.
Nelson Cruz, Ian Kinsler, Mitch Moreland facing Nick Blackburn. 1-2 to Cruz. And it's a fair ball. Sharply hit past Tolbert. It'll hit the sidewall. Young plays the Karam beautifully, and he'll hold Cruz to a single. Delman Young played the Karam. Who's the most famous billiards player? Minnesota Fats. That was awesome.
Well, it's kind of like playing the wall at Fenway Park. You know, you watch that where that ball hits off the wall, and you try to keep that guy to a single. Cruz hitting this ball sharply, and watch this ball hit the 3-foot wall right there and carry him right over to Young, and he keeps Cruz at first base. Great job by Young, hustling over there and getting it back in.
It's always important to do that, especially when you got a sinker baller on the mound. You might be rewarded with a double play. Here's Kinsler. Hit the home run against Rob Delaney last night in the 9th. And down and away, ball one. Rangers trying to win the final game here. They're on the verge of getting shut out wherever they might play in the playoffs. They have not won in Minnesota. They're 0-5. They have not won in New York. They're 0-3 there. They have not won in St. Petersburg. They're 0-3 there. 2-0. Ron Washington, who I would guess would be the likeliest candidate for manager of the year, wouldn't you think?
He's done a great job here in Texas.
2-0 to Kinsler. And 3-0, and Blackburn can't get that outside corner that C.J. Wilson got. At any rate, the Rangers would love to be able to pick up a win in the event they do make the playoffs. They'd like to not have too many ghosts follow them. There's a strike.
You know, I'd like to see Twins win a division, and Ron Gardenhire finally get what he deserves.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I just think the Twins, and it's in a way a credit to Ron Gardenhire. I think he's taken for granted nationally. He shouldn't be, but he is. And so you've got this Texas team that hasn't won anything for over 10 years. There's a walk putting the first 2 runners aboard here in the second.
Well, the Twins, you end up toward getting into September. You want a chance to win your division, and the Twins have had a lot of injuries. Of course, the key one, Justin Morneau with a concussion. Everybody's kind of had to pick each other up. We've been, J.J. Hardy's been out a while. Hudson's been out a while. Punto's been out. So, Gardy along with Washington. Pitching has not been very consistent, other than maybe Pavano on a regular basis.
There's Mitch Moreland with the tying run at first. Nobody out here in the second inning. And foul back.
Moreland getting at some at-bats here in his first year with the Texas Rangers. Getting called up in late July. Just 24 years old. See if he can hit into a double play. Moreland has hit it into only 1 double play so far this year.
And drifting outside. Twins baseball on My 29, brought to you by Comcast High Definition. Boston leading Chicago 2-1, top of the 7th inning at Fenway Park. White Sox won both ends of a split doubleheader yesterday to keep pace with the Twins. There's a strike on the outside corner, and it's 1-2.
Blackburn does a good job of getting on top of that baseball, and that's what he needs right here. See what they decide to do. Short stride and just missing.
2-2. Drill to center, in the general direction of Span, who makes the catch. Cruz is going to try to tag. Here's the throw. Safe, and both runners move up. A good throw would have gotten them, but it drifted wide, and now both runners move up into scoring position.
Yeah, I guess aggressive base running right there by Cruz, because Span, that ball was hit sharply. He was behind that ball. He was going to make a good throw. The throw a little bit on the outfield side, and that allows Cruz to score. A perfect throw would have gotten him. You can see Tolbert has to kind of go back and apply the tag to Cruz. And hoping that it comes off the bag, but Cruz able to hold on to that third base bag.
Here's Trainer. Infield playing back. They'll concede a run on a ground ball here with a 2-run lead. Trainer getting a chance to catch here today.
The Trainer spent some time on a disabled list with a sprained right knee. Average at only .218. He does have 5 home runs.
Inside missing, 2-0. Blackburn not real sharp with his control. 32 pitches, just 18 strikes. A pitch out of a second inning jam. That's not going to help. Sharply to right center field, and it'll tie the game at 2 apiece. So the Twins get a couple in the first, and the Rangers come back with a pair so far here in the second.
Yeah, Blackburn just leaving some pitches up, and that's what hurt him, prior to his departure to the minor leagues. Got to keep that ball down. Trainer, inside out swing, hits it sharply past Hudson at second base. You see a little sink, but not quite low enough. Allows Trainer to get the barrel of a bat on the ball. So Trainer picking up RBI number 24 and 25 on the year.
Here's Julio Bourbon. Nice snag by Cuddyer out of there, and the throw to second not in time. So Cuddyer fielding the rocket, and Bourbon out number 2. But Trainer moves up to second base.
Yeah, great defensive play right there by Cuddyer. He jumps off that bag and then has to backhand it, and then steps on the bag, but Trainer got a pretty good jump right there, and he slides in safely.
We mentioned a couple of days ago, Cuddyer's changed gloves. He had a brown glove, and the Twins saw a few balls run through the webbing of his glove on throws, and so they got him a different model glove with a black color. The color, of course, doesn't make any difference, but it's a different glove. And that ball looked like it got caught in the webbing and almost came through, but he was able to recover and make the catch and get the out. 1-0 to Christian Guzman, who hit a ground ball to Hudson his first time up.
Christian Guzman, 32 years old, originally signed by the Yankees, came up with the Twins back in 1999, an all-star for the Twins in 2001. Also made the all-star team a couple years ago when he was with the Nationals.
Down and in. Part of that group, and we tip our cap to him figuratively a number of times that were responsible for the rebirth of this franchise in terms of it being a competitive team. Guzman at short, Rivas at second, Mankiewicz at first, Koski at third, Pierzynski behind the plate, Jones and Hunter, and I guess ultimately Shannon Stewart in left. They had that 1 year where Bobby Kelty and Dustin Moore shared an outfield spot.
Like you mentioned, AJ behind the plate.
Yep. And there's Corey Koski, part of the Legends game, sitting with the family section. Swing and a miss. Guzman now with a 2-2 count.
Yeah, Matt Lawton part of that group too.
And Guzman coming to the Twins in the Chuck Knobloch trade, along with Eric Milton, who was part of the pitching staff that reinvigorated this franchise. 2-2. Just missed the inside corner. It's a full count with Young on deck. Three and two to Guzzi. Chops it foul. And time called. You know, we talked about Blackburn being tagged with the loss, pitching the 13th inning the other day on Thursday. Brian Dunsing, another starter, had to pitch out of the bullpen, and it just looked so out of place, but it was fairly commonplace to have starting pitchers do that years ago, wasn't it?
Why, they didn't have the 12-man pitching staff,
right.
So, 8, 9, 10-man pitching staff. So, yeah, it was a lot of times you'd come out. I think we've seen Tim Timmons back there behind the plate, a little inconsistent. Take a look at this 3-2 pitch. Pretty good pitch right there.
Change up with a little tail on it, maybe.
Second walk of the inning for Blackburn. He's going to face a very good hitter right here, Michael Young.
And Michael Young hit a sharp single to right center field. Span did a nice job cutting the ball off, holding him to a single in the first. So as Wilson had a big challenge in the first inning, now Blackburn, having given a couple of runs up here in the second, facing a tough hitter in Young who looked like he wanted to jerk one out there. A very good opposite field hitter, but he looked like he wanted to pull it that time.
He does have 20 home runs on the year.
And there's a corner, 0-2. Young, one of a club record 6 All-Stars for the Rangers this year. Two strikes. Got him looking to end the inning. So Blackburn gives up a couple, but leaves a couple on the bases. It's 2 apiece.
teammates. Yeah, wash that away, but then later in the ball game, whoop, pull that hammy. And then, of course, they laugh again.
I asked Ron Washington, I said, you've had a lot of pressure on you as a major league player, certainly as a manager. What about hitting a Legends game with your entire roster up on the top step on the railing watching you? He said, man, it wasn't pressure. He said, I was going to make something happen. I wasn't going to wait for something to happen. I was going to make something happen.
And that's what he tells his players all the time. Make something happen.
Here's J.J. Hardy starting the second for the Twins, and he takes down and in ball one. It'll be Hardy, Tolbert, and Repko. Bottom third of the Twins lineup trying to make something happen against C.J. Wilson. 1-1. There's that breaking ball on the outside corner to a right-handed batter again.
Yeah, we'll see Liriano use that breaking ball down and in to get strikeouts. And Wilson so far, that's his kind of strike pitch on the outer half. And there's that breaking ball down and in that Hardy just got a piece of.
1-2. Twins got a couple of hits and a hit batter to score a couple of runs in the first. And now Wilson given a reprieve with the Rangers scoring 2 in the second. Inside. Wilson missed. It's a full count to the leadoff man here in the second. Hardy with a good game yesterday. Got the scoring started with a ground rule double in the first inning to score a couple of runs. A long look in, and Hardy gets tired of waiting. Well, you talked about Liriano. We lauded Liriano for his ability to get left-handed hitters out. 3-2 to Hardy, and he'll issue his first walk of the game. Time for our Home Depot improved player, Matt Tolbert, yesterday with 2 big triples.
Yeah, quite a day for Matt Tolbert. He said it was a good day, a happy day. And Tolbert 2 triples, second time in his career he's had 2 triples in a ball game, but never has had 5 runs driven in. And he was able to do that yesterday in the Twins' 12-4 win.
Hardy not much of a threat to steal, but he's aboard leading off the second. And Tolbert shows bunt and takes ball one. And we talked about Blackburn not pounding the strike zone when he was out there. Wilson's thrown 32 pitches and only 18 strikes.
Yeah, it looks like now that's that changeup that he's missed mainly away to right-handed hitters.
Anyway, Liriano has been so tough on lefties, and his left-handed batting average is .227. Now subtract 103 points, and you've got C.J. Wilson's left-handed batting average. That one misses the outside corner, and it's 2-0 on October.
Two pretty good lefties right there in your picture.
So then you can imagine why the Rangers, even though they haven't won in New York, they're looking at, let's say they have the Yankees in the first round of the playoffs. And if Cliff Lee is what he's been the last couple of years, he could go twice in a series. C.J. Wilson could go once. It's some pretty formidable left-handed pitching.
Well, we saw Derek Holland, too, here the other night. He's got pretty good stuff. He left with a couple of runners on, even though he worked 6 1/3 innings. The bullpen came in and gave up 2 of his runs. Kind of like what Jack Morris did to me today.
Oh, boy.
And I let him know it, too. I hated leaving a ball game with runners on, and then you have to rely on Jack Morris to get some outs. My goodness.
I was going to say, I wonder what Jack's percentage of inherited runners was as a major leaguer, but I don't think he ever made a relief appearance. And there's ball 4 to Tolbert. So Wilson works himself into some immediate trouble here in the second inning with, of all things, a pair of walks.
Well, again, he came into that ball game with 77 walks and 171 innings pitched. So at times he can be a little wild.
Follow the Twins on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and Android phone with MLB.com at Bat 2010. At Bat 2010 features play-by-play, video highlights, live audio broadcasts. So make sure you do that on your iPhone, iPod Touch, Android, or BlackBerry. For more details, MLB.com at Bat 2010. Mike Maddox to the mound.
Let's see if Repko's asked to bunt right here. Michael Young going through some signs at third base to let his infielders know what play is on. Mitch Moreland at first base, almost on the grass at first.
Pulls the back and takes ball 1. Tim Cheetah says no, he didn't offer at it. Sure, for Tim Cheetah, like a lot of fans here, a lot of baseball cards came to life during the Legends game. He was out on the field, Twin Cities native. Wilson digging himself a hole almost as deep as the one Kent Hrbek dug. There's a bunt. That's a beauty. Wilson looks around the bases, throws short, safe at first. He lollipopped a throw to Kinsler, and Repko hustling down the line beat it out.
Well, I mentioned he had trouble with his changeup against Tolbert and Hardy, especially away, and right there it looked like he threw a little changeup. And a good hustle right there by Jason Repko, laying down the bunt. Don't assume anything, and the throw low, and Repko beat it out. Kinsler showing Tim Cheetah the ball, but Tim Cheetah said no. It'll be a base hit for Jason Repko. He will take that.
Red Sox stole a couple of bases and eventually stole a couple of runs. They lead Boston now 3-2. Bases loaded here, nobody out, and Span at the plate. And Wilson, tough against lefties, really needs to toughen up here against Span. Wilson seems to be very deliberate here today. Now, part of that's because he had men on base his entire time out there, it seems. A little bit low, ball 1.
They've been missing low a lot here so far in the first 2+ innings.
Lifted to left, and Bourbon comes in, tagging is Hardy. The throw coming to third base. The Twins have the lead. So Span chips a fly ball, a sacrifice fly ball into center, and it's 3-2.
Yes, Leonard Span picking up his 46th RBI of the year. That scores J.J. Hardy from third base. And Tolbert staying at second as the throw went to third.
Span driving in his 46th run. Hudson singled and scored in the first. Trying to extend the Twins' lead. Runners go, and Trainer doesn't throw. Tolbert and Repko with a double steal.
Wilson with that high leg kick, and Tolbert got a very good read. Trainer coming out of the catcher's position, and I don't think he had a good grip on that ball. Even a throw, I don't think would have been able to get Tolbert.
Infield in now for the Rangers.
Nice little double steal by the Twins.
Short fly ball, and Bourbon has to hustle in. And he makes the catch with the infield drawn in. No chance for an infielder to catch that ball. Bourbon with a burst of speed for the second out. And that'll bring up Mauer. Mauer hitting the ribs by a pitch from Wilson, and then he later came around to score. Not a good at bat for Hudson. And we'll see if Mauer can drive in a couple with a hit to the outfield. Infield back at normal depth, of course. Strike one. We've got number 7 at the plate. When we come back, we'll have another former number 7 join us. Twins Hall of Famer Greg Gagne will join us in the 3rd inning.
Yo.
1 strike to Mauer. Nice block by Trainer. Mauer well back in the batting race with Hamilton at 361 and Mauer at 325. So 61 minus 25.
Minnesota math, hurry.
36 point difference right now. And the main reason is this year Joe has not hit left-handed pitching as well as he has in the past, hitting just .256 against lefties on the year. Pounds this one foul. If he were having his normal year against lefties, he'd be right up there with Hamilton. And we'd have a great race going, but right now Hamilton has a comfortable lead. With after today 4 weeks left in the regular season.
Yeah, Joe won his 3rd batting title last year, hitting .365. Lowest he did a couple of years ago when he hit .328.
1-2 to Mauer. Twins sure could use a 2-out hit here. Couldn't get one in the 1st inning with Cuddyer at second. Line to the glove of Wilson. So Wilson started his mess by walking a couple. He got out of it by making a nice catch of a Mauer line drive. And we'll be happy to have a visit from Greg Gagne when we come back. Gagne into the Twins Hall of Fame. Gagne, the starting shortstop on both World Championship teams. And today, I bet you that's the uniform you wore in 1991, right?
It's close. Still fits, though.
Still fits, yeah?
Yeah. A little skinnier.
Well, very happy to have Greg here. Congratulations. What's it mean to you to be joining that very select group of former Twins?
It's just been a great weekend. You know, you see all the guys. It's just great getting back on the field. I thought today was real fun playing the game today. Just, just wanted to get back out there and play. It was just a lot of fun.
You know, I don't think we've missed the game as much until you get into a game like that. You know, and all the laughs and, you know, anytime I mentioned earlier, anytime Ken Herbeck's on the baseball field, you're going to bring a smile to your face.
I thought he blew out his knee. I was saying, I hope he didn't hurt himself there. Come on, Herbie.
1-1 to David Murphy. Will be followed by Vladimir Guerrero and Nelson Cruz. Lifted foul and out of play. But individually, it has to be quite an honor to be included with the likes of Bert, Frank Viola, and Gary Gaetti, and some of the guys that you played with on those great teams.
No doubt. It's very humbling, and, you know, I must have done something right when I played up here. And, you know, fortunate enough to be on two World Series championships. And just being with a bunch of guys that they didn't like to lose, and they had a heart to win, and it was just an honor to play with these guys.
Well, you're one of 7 Twin players that played on both series. Any difference between the 87 and 91 that you can say that, you know, that was maybe a key base hit right here by Murphy into right field? He gets his first hit.
You know, the 87 is the first time. It was. You know, it's hard to take anything away from that one. I mean, that one's special, very, very special. And actually, you know, I think he had a lot to do with that in '86. At the end of '86 year, I was a young kid. I mean, that was my first year I played every day. And you mentioned, hey, next year we're going to bring home the World Series championship in '87. And sure enough, we all went home. And I know I went home and I got ready for the season. We came out there and we did that. And it was just amazing.
They might be able to get 2 here. 1. High throw, and Hudson fires one into the crowd, and instead of a double play, Guerrero will move into scoring position. Another double play that should have been turned.
Yeah, we saw this here, especially on Thursday night. Orlando Hudson a couple times had opportunities to make good throws over to Cuddyer. And, you know, Murphy right on top of him, which as a base runner, you try to break up the double play, slowly hit, and Vladimir Guerrero doesn't get that down that line very quickly, but Hudson had plenty of time and just overshot Cuddyer.
Yeah, you got to turn 2 there.
So the tying run at second with 1 away. Nelson Cruz singled and scored his first time up. Well, just from somebody who sat up here, Greg, during those years, the '87 crew will always be special, I think, to everybody here, because it had been a long time. You got to go back to the Minneapolis Lakers to find a professional sports championship here in Minnesota. But in swinging a foul, the '91 team was clearly the best team in the American League and all year long. I mean, you got off to a rough start, but you guys were considered to be the best or among the best teams. The '87 team, that was not the case. You guys, you won the division, but you were heavy underdogs against everybody you faced in the playoffs. I mean, that's, again, from where I sat, but, you know, as you look back at it,
well, you know, it's tough to, it's long ago to look back, but if I was to look back, I mean, I believe the season before, 90, you know, we were a last place team.
Right.
And then to put it all together in 91, I mean, that's kind of special to say from last year in 90, how can we be the favorites going into 91? Well, we were in last place the year before. But I guess that's baseball, you know.
It is a game of baseball. Yes, it is.
You never know.
That is a big strikeout of Nelson Cruz with the tying run at second, 2 down. Blackburn struck out a couple of guys looking, and they've both been very good hitters, Michael Young and now Nelson Cruz.
Well, Cruz in his first at bat, I mean, he got a fastball in that he hit right down that third baseline, and then Blackburn in this plate appearance for Cruz, everything away. So good pitch right there, his third strikeout of the ballgame. But, you know, in 1986, the reason that I said that at Fan Appreciation Day, because you could feel the chemistry starting to work together. Tom Kelly took over, and everybody was just having fun. And, you know, you tip your hat to the organization because they went out and got Al Newman, Jeff Reardon, Juan Berenguer. They had a lot of Dan Gladden, Keith Atherton. They added a lot of pieces to our puzzle, and it took a while for our puzzle to kind of come together. And we really came together late in the season, and we carried that right into the postseason. In '91, you guys had a great pitching staff.
Yeah.
Glad must not be working on radio. He's got a beer in his hand.
No, he's not working today. But Jeff Reardon.
But like I said, I mean, for me as a young kid in '86, when I heard that from you, you've been around for a long time. I had a lot of respect for you and how many years you put in the big leagues, and you've been there. You know what you're talking about, and you know, I really took that to heart and believed in it. And, you know, we went out there and did the thing.
That's what we did.
You know, I think '91. I think, you know, we had a boy named Knobloch over there was very special, and you know, we had some missing pieces there, and you know, you had Pags at third and Laius at third, and you know, they could DH, and you know, Puck of course in center. I mean, and that team was put together pretty well too, with the pitching staff, the young pitching staff, with Taps and Erickson, and you know, the whole team. Like I said, it took a little while too for us to come together, but you know, somehow we put it all together and we get the win in, and that's got to. To me, you got to say that TK really knew what he was doing. Tom Kelly knew what he was doing out there to be able to do that.
Well, you need some luck along the way.
Yeah.
You know, it's the game of baseball. You're out there 162 ball games, and you want to play good at the end, and that's what the Twins are going to try to do here in September. They got a 3.5 game lead over the Chicago White Sox. They want to, you know, stay in this race and stay ahead, and then hopefully carry that right into postseason.
Chopper to third. Tolbert has it. Now Kadire has it. And Blackburn pitches around the leadoff single. More from Twins Hall of Famer Greg Gagne when we come back.
Lead, but then the Rangers came right back.
And you were the losing pitcher in the Legends game.
Yeah, thanks to Jack Morris. Thanks to Jack Morris. Thanks, Jack.
Supposed to call it relief pitching, right? There's no relief.
As soon as I left, I knew those runs were going to score.
Well, he made a big mistake to me. He can't leave that stuff over the plate like that. That was terrible. But I was ready to charge him out if he would have hit my boy again. We were ready to come out there and get you.
And if I hit Gladdy?
Yeah, or whoever it was. I thought it was Wash. You tried to hit Wash, too, didn't you?
I tried to get Wash, too.
Yeah, we didn't like that.
Well, you know what? And when Ron Washington walked up there, and I talk about this, with a runner at third, I could hit that limestone behind home plate, and that ball would ricochet back toward home plate. That's
what you're trying?
I was working on.
Yeah, but you didn't practice it, Bert. That was dumb.
Well,
probably would have helped if you'd have let Ron Washington in on your intent. He's up to nothing.
Heavens no. Figured I only get one shot to try it.
1 and 2 to Kadire.
You got to practice, Bert.
Strikeout. There will have to be a throw. One away. Greg Gagne made his debut with the Twins back in 1983 and eventually took over the starting spot. And at shortstop, beat out the likes of, who else was in the mix there? Alvaro Espinosa.
SB.
Lenny Faedo was around that.
Faedo, right? Smalley was there. He came back.
Ron Washington.
Ronnie Walsh. Jimenez. Leus was a shortstop at one time, so was Knobloch.
Kubel gets another base hit against C.J. Wilson. He decided to swing at the first pitch. He didn't like the fact that Tim Timmons called him out. So he said, I'm going to take the first thing I can see and get a base hit, and he did.
Yeah, when you feel the umpire has a pretty big strike zone, you don't waste any time, do you, Gags? You go out there ready to hit.
Oh, remember Ken Kaiser? Ken Kaiser said, my flight's early after today. You guys better be swinging at Everton because Everton's a strike. Sure enough, you do it.
Hey, Bert and I have talked about this, and of course he was a veteran by the time '87 rolled around, but you guys have never gone into postseason play in '87. How did you handle the additional pressure or pressures of being in the national spotlight, and everything you do is magnified because of the magnitude of the game?
I think it's just Tom TK, just motivating us and saying, hey, just enjoy this time. And go out here and enjoy it, have a lot of fun. And I think the guys on the team know how to do that. But I think the big thing, too, you just try to get as many positives as you can. G-Man says, gee, if we get the players, we're going to win the whole thing. Nobody can beat us at home. And we had 4 games to 3 in the series and the playoffs. And we were a home team. So he says, we got a chance. And I think that snowballed.
Yeah, it did. Now, a lot of fans would probably up and in right there on Delman Young by C.J. Wilson. I'd like to know what you're doing now, Greg.
Well, I'm back home in Somerset, Mass, trying to be a father. I got 3 children. My son, Zach, he's just finishing college. He's looking for a job right now. My other son, Lucas, he's going to Rhode Island College. He's got a little bad arm right now. He wants to pitch and play. And then my daughter's, we'll be watching some volleyball in the fall. She's a junior at high school. She's playing a little volleyball. And get up on my farm once in a while, play around up there. The deer in the antelope roam. And, I've been, go to my church on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays to stay right, with the good Lord and all the blessings He's given me. And, just trying to enjoy life as much as I can, Brett.
Now, you've had the opportunity through your son to give some of your major league experience back to some of these young kids in your area.
Yeah, and that's been fun. I mean, I just, like you said, a lot of things that I was taught here from Tom Kelly, I just go out there and I find that I'm teaching the kids that I was taught by Tom. And the kids are very, they listen. And I don't look at it saying, well, they better listen, you're a major league. But there is truth in that. But I like to say, hey, I just want to help the kids out. And if they want to listen, they're going to learn something. And it just blesses you when you see them listening to you and being successful.
I know my first job, I'm going back a ways, but between my junior and senior year in high school, old Dodger pitcher Ed Roebuck. I don't know if you remember that name.
Remember the name.
But I kind of was a sponge to him. And he really helped my development. So there's, I think, any time that any kid can talk to a major leaguer, be a sponge, take it in.
Right. And I think, sometimes when I think about it back, maybe I should have listened a little bit more to some of the guys, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you can have the attitude like, hey, I know it all. You don't have to tell me. I know what I'm doing in profession. I know what I'm doing in baseball. I know how to play.
Oh, what a catch. Ian Kinsler.
Well, you knew what to do, Greg Gagne. Thank you very much.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you for a great weekend, everybody.
fourth inning. It's the website that allows you to crush your fantasy football opponents with weekly ad drop updates and Paul Charchian's cheat sheet. Each week, Paul tells you who's hot, who's not, plus the injury report. Check it out, fantasyvictory.com. Mitch Moreland, Matt Trainer, Julio Bourbon will hit for the Rangers in the fourth. Victor Martinez has hit a 2-run home run for the Red Sox. They lead Chicago 4-3. They're in the top of the eighth. And Nick Blackburn delivers to Moreland, who cracks the first pitch into right field for a base hit. It's the third inning in a row, and the Rangers have gotten the leadoff base hit.
Yeah, 5 hits right now for the Texas Rangers off of Blackburn. All of them have been singles.
And now Matt Trainer, who drove in the 2 Texas runs with a sharp single to right center field. I can tell a quick Greg Gagne story. You know, one of the great things about what I do is I get to watch the players play. The fans get to do that, but sometimes, every once in a while, you get to know the players off the field, and you get to know about them, and you're privy to things about them that maybe the fans aren't. So I'm going to share one of those experiences with Gagne. In 1988, I had lined up Greg to speak at a youth group of about 150 people, and I asked him in July, and it was going to be in late September, and he said, sure, I'd love to. And as I think you heard, Greg, a man of faith, very much devoted to his Christian faith. And so I had Greg lined up to do that. The Twins, in the meantime, had scheduled their team party, postseason party, for the same day that I had lined up Greg to speak in this relatively small youth group of about 150 people. And so I figured, well, there's, no way. I mean, a team party, it's the end of the season. That's a pretty important team function.
You didn't want to bring that youth group to our team party.
No, but I mean, this is the one where the media is invited, and it's a nice affair. And, without question, I don't know why I did question it, but Greg Gagne was there, and he passed on the team party to fulfill a commitment he had made 2 months ago before the team party was, even the date was even decided on. And I never ever forgot that. And I thought, what a wonderful testament to who he is. Beyond his baseball abilities, he made a commitment and he followed through on it.
Wow, that's Gags right there, because like you mentioned, a very religious man, and he didn't want to go to a team party, that's all.
Well, here I'm trying to, pay tribute to the man, and you're diminishing what he did. 2-1.
We had a great team party, too.
Trainer will be followed by Bourbon. Blackburn's been given a 2-run lead. That one didn't last very long, and now a 3-2 lead. He'll try to nurse that lead through the top of the fourth.
Well, it was Trainer that got that 2-run single in that second inning. Good breaking ball right there. Blackburn ahead in the count.
2-2.
And that's what I consider ahead in the count. 2-2.
Well, it's 2 balls before you walk the guy and only 1 before you strike him out. Of course you're ahead.
But see, I thought I was ahead when it was 3-2.
There's a drive to center, hit right at Span. He didn't have to move. So Trainer again hits it sharply for the first out. Time's running out. If you want to be a part of the Twins' second tradition wall here at Target Field, you can have your name or your family name etched permanently on the Target Plaza by participating in the Tradition Wall program. Visit twinsbaseball.com or call 877-TWIN-WALL to purchase your place on the Twins Tradition Wall. And I think I can safely assume that the group I spoke to this morning, some of those members are on the Twins Tradition Wall. Bone squares, drops down a good bunt. Hulbert fields, throws. Sacrifice might be given for Bourbon, even though there's 1 out in the inning, and it looked like he was bunting for a hit.
Great play by Tolbert. He has that cat-like instincts. A young man can really play anywhere on the field. Came in and did a good job of getting behind that ball. Watch Tolbert, how quick he is right here. Sets himself and makes a good throw over to first.
I'm guessing no sacrifice. Sometimes in the National League you'll see it if a pitcher is up there and clearly the intent, according to the official score, was to move the runners along, and no sacrifice will be granted to Bourbon with 2 away. Just quickly, if I may, I had the pleasure of hosting a breakfast here at the Metropolitan Club for the 63 entities who have been season ticket holders for the Twins for all 50 years. Now, some of them are corporations, companies, but an impressive number of people, just individuals, have had their season tickets. And just think everything they've had to endure, if you will, to maintain their faith in the Twins. There's a high pop-up, and it should get Blackburn out of the inning. And it is a scoreless fourth inning after another leadoff hit. And when we come back, we'll be joined by the Rats. Late October 1987, Game 7, Gaetti to Hrbek, and the Twins are baseball's world's champions. And then a little bit after that, back here on Friday night, the recreation.
It looked the same, too.
Yeah.
I took a couple extra steps.
Very
That's
happy.
a long way, isn't it?
You feel really small when you haven't been out there for a long time to be on the field.
Here's Matt Tolbert leading off the Twins fourth. Well, Gary Gaetti with us, and of course he was inducted into the Twins Hall of Fame just last year, right? And Greg Gagne this year. Your thoughts about Gags getting in?
Awesome. It really is. I just mentioned over here on the radio how special it was. They asked me what my most special moment was, and that was one of them, just to see one of your teammates stand in that place and get an honor that's, well deserved, and just, knowing what he's going through.
In the dirt, and it's 1-2 to Tolbert, who drew a walk in the second inning.
Well, I know, Gary, you get a chance to come up here every year, for the inductions and all that stuff. What are you doing with yourself now?
Well, I'm doing a couple things. I'm giving private hitting lessons at a place called Baseball USA in Houston. Of course, with what happened today, I'm sure I might have to go on unemployment. I'm not going to be able to throw anymore, but anyway. And I'm also involved in a new sports product. We started a company, and it's called the Up Bucket. It's a product for your every team. It's kind of a neat deal.
What's it do?
Well, it's a 6-gallon bucket on wheels that you put your baseballs in. And you know how the carts that they have out there for pitching, so but you can roll it. It's compact. You can roll your equipment to the field. It stands it. We raise it up, and then we have another device that you don't have to bend over and pick up the balls. So it's pretty cool.
Kind of like the golf balls, to where you suck up the golf balls.
That's exactly right. So, and we're trying to get that going. It's neat.
Now, you also had that quick swing, that little paddle, almost like a.
Well, I endorsed the Insider bat, is what that was.
Okay, that's what that was. Okay, because I gave what you gave me, and I gave them to my son Todd, who has a school in California.
Cool.
And
it's a neat little device.
Kids like it a lot.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting how you get into stuff, and I got a couple other devices that we're working on. The Gary Gaetti Hip Hitter. I've got a patent on this particular device that I think is a great drill device, and so it's kind of neat. It can be stressful at times and trying to get it going and all that. So But I just hope I can throw Wednesday. I'm serious.
Well, Matt Tolbert continuing his battle with Wilson, and a called third strike gets him one away. We talked about the recreation, and earlier we showed the throw across to end Game 7 of the World Series. And I always thought, because I started broadcasting when you guys started, you and Herbeck, and you guys all started playing. And I thought, for those guys that went through those extremely lean years starting in 1982, how could a world championship ever be sweeter than it was for you guys in 87?
It was awesome. And I've said this many times, what was really so cool about the whole thing, and the greatest part of it all, was to just be able to be with the guys on that pile up out there and saying, we did it, man, we did it.
Here's Repko driving one to right, playable for Cruz, and out number 2. Did you ever think in those lean years of 1982 that the Metrodome could field such a home field advantage with the next year 3 million fans showing up?
Yeah, you could tell we definitely had the advantage, whether it's a pop-up or somebody loses or whatever, or just knowing how the ball's going to bounce. I mean, we could kind of tell. I mean, it was as unique as the ballpark was. I think we kind of grew into it, and we took advantage of it big time.
It's so nice, Brad, and I know you've been here before at Target Field. Oh, I believe this is your first time here, isn't it?
As a finished product, yeah. I was here. I got to tour it before it was finished.
Right, but you see the crowd here. I mean, 40,000 night after night, and I say it's like an event. It's a game, yes, but it's like an event.
Well, I will tell you, it makes a difference to the players to have a lot of people in the stands. It really does, and it makes for a great game.
Our thanks to Gary Gaddy for stopping by. Always good to see you, my friend.
Same here, man.
All right.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks, Brad.
See you, man. Good job.
We'll be back with Jeff Reardon.
Oh, really? Do we have to?
And we move on to the 5th. I'm very happy to welcome back to Minnesota and back to the booth Jeff Reardon. Your impressions, Jeff, of this beautiful ballpark?
Oh, it's a beautiful place. It's the newest, of course, the newest park I've seen, but it's the nicest place I've seen.
Michael Young will lead things off against Nick Blackburn. And on one pitch, a one-hopper to Hardy, and the first out of the 5th.
Well, the ground ball starting to come now for Nick Blackburn. 7 ground ball outs, only 3 fly ball outs.
Jeff, your impressions when you found out you were going to be a member of the Minnesota Twins being traded over here from Montreal?
Oh, I was very happy because, I feel like I had a pretty good career, but I moved around to so many different teams, 7 teams. My main team was the Twins because even though it was only 3 years, going all the way, especially the first year, that's what every kid's dream is.
I know you had the experience, with the playoffs in Detroit. You had an opportunity to celebrate with all of us. Can you even describe how you felt after that last ground ball to Gaetti over to Hrbek and your reaction?
I mean, it's like it was yesterday. I mean, I got to admit I was very nervous and everything. And funny thing is I got to clinch it against Texas and then Detroit and, the World Series. I was just so excited to get the chance to do that.
I guess I'd forgotten that. You clinched the game in Texas that clinched the title.
Yeah.
And then in Detroit. And obviously Game 7 at the Dome.
Well, the starting pitchers, they never could go nine innings. So got to put the good ones in there.
Here's Murphy, who's
even way back then.
2-2 to Murphy. The Twins this year got kind of a unique formula in their bullpen. They've got 3 guys right now who've been closers, regular closers this year. John Roush replacing Joe Nathan. And then Matt Capps, who came over in a trade. Brian Fuentes came over in a trade. And it's going to be Capps doing the closing. And I wonder, you talk to closers and they all handle, everybody can handle success, but they all handle failure differently. You were, very, very good at what you did, but how did you mentally recover from those rare games that didn't go well?
I think a lot of pitchers, relievers can be closers, but I think what it is mentally, you got to be able to bounce back. You got to bounce back, time after time. If you can't do that, you're not going to be a good closer. You don't have to be the best pitcher in the bullpen.
Gary Gaetti was just right here. We talked about the crowd and how the crowd played, such an important part in the playoffs in the World Series. But the same atmosphere is here, and I think that's why the Twins, one reason they're in first place right now, because it becomes an event over sometimes a baseball game. Now, as a closer, you come into situations, the game's on the line. Did the crowds in '87 help you?
Oh, yeah. That was the loudest of any year I ever played. And every time I came in, they pump you up. They really give you a lot of confidence out there. And that's why I enjoy playing here so much, is they're always behind you. Not like that in the big cities.
1-1.
And I brought that up to Gaetti, and I'm bringing it up to you, Jeff, only because, fans come to the ballpark and, they get to drink beer and have a good time and socialize. But when the game is on the line, and it's usually 7th, 8th, 9th inning, here in Minnesota, my goodness, the response that these fans, good baseball fans, they wonder, with me screaming, am I affecting maybe, the outcome of the ballgame? And they are.
Here's a double play that is turned, and the Twins get out of the 5th inning. And if it's okay with you, Jeff, we'll keep you on the other side of the break here for a little bit. Don't get a chance to talk to one of the best closers in the history of the game very often. year. The Legends game played before the regulation game here, and the Twins are hoping to sweep the Texas Rangers in the real game. No one's gotten hurt yet in this game. Make no claims that someone didn't. In fact, Gary Gaetti said his shoulder hurt. John Castino was out on the field and his back was acting up, and Ron Washington pulled a hamstring. 1-0 to Orlando Hudson and a strike. Jeff, did you pitch?
I wanted to pitch, but I have like 3 to 4 herniated discs right now. So when I saw Gaetti hit line drives out the middle, I changed my mind.
Hudson with a soft line drive, gloved by Guzman, 1 away. Dick Bramer, Burt Blatevin, joined by Jeff Reardon, who, when you retired, you were on the very top of the list. I remember the night very well. With the Red Sox, you got a save, and you had more saves than anybody else in baseball at the time, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people forgot about that.
1 down. Joe Mauer will hit.
Now, Jeff, I know you live down on the eastern part of Florida. What are you doing with yourself?
Not much. My son lives in Orlando. My daughter's home, so I spend a lot of time with them, and then the wife. We just pretty much take it easy. I watch a lot of the Marlin games on TV. I was golfing a lot, so I hurt my back. Just take it easy.
Well, you're a scratch golfer. We were talking about that.
Oh, yeah. I shoot like 68, 69. Plus 30.
Hey, what was it like for you? Because you did come over before the '87 season, and there were some guys that had some equity with the Twins: Gagne, Blyleven, Puckett, Herbeck, Gaetti, Bernansky, guys like that. And you kind of came in from the outside. What did they do to make you feel welcome? And they must have done that. Young with a long throw and a nice pickup at first by Moreland, 2 away.
All I remember is my first spring training with the Twins. I didn't even know these hitters that well, but after a while, I even said to my wife, I think I predicted to a couple of people, these guys are hitting all these home runs in spring training. And I said, if we have any pitching at all, I think this team can win it. But I didn't know anything about the American League.
Right.
I was just very impressed with the hitters on the team. And of course, you had Frank and Bert, and some other pitchers. So I thought,
Straker, we had some.
Yeah, Berenger.
We had some mashers though on that ball club.
Oh, I couldn't believe it, especially when Kirby, broke a window and the police came to the park or something.
In Orlando, yeah.
But it was all of Bernansky, Herbeck, Puckett. I'm like, these guys can hit. Lauderdale, everybody's hitting home runs. Montreal, we had Dawson. That was about it.
Right. 1-0 to Cuddyer with 2 gone in the bottom of the 5th. And that's another ground ball to Michael Young. And a quick inning for C.J.
You see,
Wilson.
a closer comes in, there's 6 straight outs, just like that.
Yeah, how about that?
It's really an easy job.
All right, thanks to Jeff Reardon. Great to see you in Minnesota again, Jeff. Because it was one-sided, we might have another one-run ball game here on the Progressive Game Reset.
Yeah, Michael Kadire put 2 runs on the board with that double in the first inning. Matt Trainer, the catcher for the Rangers, he added a 2-run single. And Nick Blackburn did some ground ball outs.
Nelson Cruz, Ian Kinsler, Mitch Moreland will hit here in the 6th against Blackburn, who's thrown 78 pitches. And number 79 is a strike.
Yeah, 9 ground ball outs for Blackburn, 3 fly ball outs. A big double play off the bat of Guerrero to end the 5th.
Foul pop and strike 2.
Blackburn with 80 pitches, 51 strikes, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts in the ball game. Giving up 5 hits, all singles.
And now 1-2.
Remember, Cruz in his first at bat got a pitch middle in that he lined right down that third baseline. Delman Young played the great carom to hold him to a single. Last time up, worked everything away. That's where Joe is right there.
High, lazy fly to center field, and Span is there, and Cruz is out, 1 away.
So you learned something from that first at bat. Everything away. Now Cruz doesn't have the same swing.
High school football kicked off this week in Minnesota, and you can watch games streamed live each week on FoxPreps.com. See Prep Sports live or check it out later on demand. And you can download the new Fox Preps app now. Go to FoxPreps.com and get it live. 1 gone in the 6th. Here's Ian Kinsler. Kinsler takes inside a ball. Blackburn has walked 2, and his walk of Kinsler in the 2nd inning cost him because Kinsler came around to score the tying run. Pulled foul, 1-1.
Yeah, Kinsler missing about a month on a disabled list with a left groin strain.
And this lineup sure looks different without Josh Hamilton, doesn't it? Right on the outside corner, 1 and 2.
It's a still good hitting ball club. They came in hitting .275, second behind the Twins in the American League in hitting.
Pulled foul. Young, a right-handed batter. Murphy, a left. Guerrero, right-handed. Cruz, right-handed. Kinsler, right-handed. They've taken control of the division, though, because of the left-handed batter, Josh Hamilton. There's a fly to right. And Repko is there. That's out number 2. Tomorrow's game is at Treasure Island Senior Day. Fans 55 and older can get a $5 ticket on select tickets for the 1:10 Labor Day start against Kansas City. Tickets must be purchased at the ballpark tomorrow. For details, visit twinsbaseball.com and call 800-33-TWINS. First time in about, 60-some games where apparently there are tickets available for fans who want to be here tomorrow for the matinee. There's Mitch Moreland with a single his last time up. You look at the lineup and you say, well, boy, it sure looks different for the Rangers. And then you realize, for 2 months the Twins have been playing without Justin Morneau. How different must the Twins lineup look without Morneau?
Right.
It's incredible to me, and we've said this before, I don't know of a team, Yankees included, that could do as well as the Twins have done without their biggest run producer. Kadire has stepped things up again. Swing and a foul, 1 and 2. Kubel, Thome, Young in July.
Just guys picking up each other. And that's what's so great to watch this Minnesota Twin team day in and day out. Yesterday, it was Matt Tolber. Yes, Jim Thome hit 2 home runs, passed Mark McGwire for now 9th on the all-time home run list. But you need somebody else. It's just not one guy. It's a combination of everybody. And congratulations to Jim Thome, too.
But the longest home run ever hit here, is 449-foot blast into the upper deck. To me, Friday night's game, in a nutshell, summarizes the whole Twins season. The Twins had to improvise on Friday. They had the potentially demoralizing loss on Thursday. They made room on the 40-man roster for Matt Fox. He comes up, pitches his tail off, and if you wanted to summarize the season in one game. To this point, to me, it was Friday night's game. Got back in the win column, and who knows, it may end up sweeping the Rangers after one of the toughest losses of the year. The 2 home runs.
Yeah, this one right here tied Mark McGwire in home runs. That's that 449-foot home run you were talking about. And then his next at-bat, both of them coming off of Kobe Lewis. That's a 3-run home run for Jim Thome, and that passed Mark McGwire. And I got to be honest with you, Dick. I was sitting watching the ball game right behind home plate, about 3 rows up. My wife, Gail, called that home run.
The second one? Is that right?
Because she remembered when Jim Thome tied Harmon Killebrew.
Yes.
His next at bat, he had a home run. She said he's gonna pass Mark McGwire right here, and he did.
Jason Kubel will lead off the 6th inning, and our carsoup.com/baseball question comes from Karen Kaiser of Burnsville, wondering why Alexi Casilla changed his number from 25 to 12. And Jason Kubel continues to have great success against one of the toughest left-handed pitchers against left-handed batters in baseball.
Kubel getting his straight hit, and I think we just showed you why, because that number 25 now belongs to Jim Thome. And that's a number that he's always worn, and Alexi Casilla was more than happy to change numbers.
Delman Young with a runner at first, nobody out. I think there's been a player who's come in from another organization, speaking of Thome, who has instantly commanded the respect that Thome has. And it was a given. Casilla was going to give up his number unless Thome said, well, yeah, I really don't care. But he's been wearing number 25, and Casilla genuflected to Thome, saying, here, it's yours. Pulled foul. But Thome is just so widely regarded as being a great person and a great player. And if anything, I think he's probably surpassed the expectations the Twins had in terms of what they were going to get from him on the field, with now leading the team in home runs.
Yeah, with 20. I said many months ago that you get Jim Thome 300 at-bats, he's going to hit 20 home runs. And Jim Thome right now, he has 237 at-bats, and he has 20 home runs. But it's not the home runs, Dick. It's a personality. He fits so nicely into the Twins' way. You have Harmon Killebrew who's here. You have Tony Oliva. You have Rod Carew, Hall of Famers, that just portray not only great class on the field, but also off the field, in the clubhouse. Kent Hrbek, Kirby Puckett, guys like that they come to the ballpark and they want to win a ball game, but they have fun doing it.
Kubel slams on the brakes after Young's single. And the Twins have something started here in the 6th. Red Sox have added another run in the bottom of the 8th. They lead Chicago now 5-3 heading into the top of the 9th.
Good piece of hitting right here by Delmon Young. The breaking ball. Not a bad pitch down, but Delmon got underneath it and picks up his first hit for the Twins. The 6th hit of the ball game.
Arby's trivia: which two players have the most career triples in a Twins uniform? Remember Guzman, the one year, got what, 20 triples?
How about Greg Gagne? Yo. Rod Carew had a lot of triples.
I'm going to go with Carew and Guzman. Those are going to be my guesses. And if either one's right, we consider that a correct answer.
I'll throw Yo in there. Greg Gagne.
What about Tovar? He got a lot of triples, didn't he?
Pepe was a great player. Cesar Tovar.
Well, a trivia answer where I don't think Jim Thomey's the answer. Here's Hardy. Runners at first and second, corner infielders playing up. Hardy's been hitting the ball hard lately. He's walked and lined out so far in the ball game today. And a high chopper over the head of the drawn-in third baseman. Kubel will score. On his way to third is Young. On his way to second is Hardy. So the Rangers thought the sacrifice would be on. They played their infield accordingly, and it cost them.
Well, remember when Greg Gagne was here, I said, you know, sometimes you just need some luck, too. And Hardy swinging away. Young can't reach it. Goes into left field. Kubel scores the 4th run for the Twins. And good aggressive base running by Delmon Young, going from first to third.
And now Tolbert with the infield in.
So Hardy would be credited with an RBI single and then advancing to second on the throw to third.
And we'll see whether Twins decide to put a play on here. I'm sure the Rangers will be aware of the possibility of a squeeze bunt here. Tolbert with a walk and a strikeout. Checked his swing and a foul. The only time this year that Ron Gardenhire put the squeeze play on, and one of the few times he's put it on as a manager. He did it with Drew Butera at the plate and 1 strike on the batter. Pulled foul and now 2 strikes. With the 2 triples and the 5 runs batted in yesterday. Danny Valencia recovering from the tight hamstring he suffered here a couple of nights ago. And Tolbert waves at it. Wilson gets a big strikeout.
Yeah, that's that Liriano type slider down and in right there. He picks up a big strikeout. Strikeout number 5 in a ball game, getting Tolbert for the 2nd time. Good tight rotation. See a good drop on that ball.
Now 1 out. I would imagine the threat of a squeeze play still on here with Repko at the plate. Repko tried to bunt in the 2nd inning. Wilson took a little bit too much time wheeling and throwing, and Repko got a bunt single in the 2nd inning. Called strike, and Repko glares back at Tim Timmons.
Outer half of the plate, that breaking ball.
Wilson trying to pick up another strikeout here. Inside, 1-1. Repko has struck out 9 of the last 14 at bats. Michael Kirkman warming up. And swing and strike 2. Picked up a few strikeouts along the way. Got a big one in the Tolbert at bat.
Let's see if he goes. A lot of breaking balls, a lot of cutters like that.
It's blocked by Trainer to even the count.
Again, C.J. Wilson coming into this ball game since the All-Star break, 9 starts, 7-0, 1.99 earned run average. So Twins get a chance to maybe beat them here for the first time since the break.
Inside, and Repko almost dropped that left elbow in to get hit by the pitch. 3-2.
A lot of breaking balls. Then he tried to sneak that fastball inner half and just inside.
Trainer will go to the mound here with Repko up there with a full count.
Yeah, they're talking about how they're going to pitch him right here. They want Repko to either swing the bat or he wants to strike him out right here. Does not want to walk him. He wants him to swing the bat. Remember, he struck out Delmon Young to end the first inning on that backdoor slider.
Three and 2 to Repko. Pulled foul, and it hit Young in foul territory. It's just a painful strike for the runner.
This is a good experience. I mean, good teaching tool right here. Why do those runners, on the third base, why do they stand in foul territory? Because of this. If Delmon's in fair territory and the ball does that, gets a piece of him, then he's out. That's why you want to stand in foul territory.
Another 3-2. And he walked him. So Wilson walks Repko, and the bases are loaded now with 1 out.
Third walk of the ball game for C.J. Wilson. Come on, Denard Span, get a big hit.
Span with a sacrifice fly in the second. He'd love to do that again here. Tried to bunt his way aboard his last time up. Wilson threw him out. So 2 outfield flies and a bunt attempt. Officially 0 for 2. That's lifted foul down the left field line and into the seats. 1 strike. Twins caught a break with the chopper over the drawn in third baseman. Now they're trying to capitalize and maybe put a crooked number up there. Another foul, 2 strikes. The Twins have Span and Kubel, lefties who've done pretty well against Wilson, and the 14 plate appearances that Span has had against Wilson, this might be the biggest one. Trying to get, at the very least, Young in from third. Two strikes to the Twin center fielder. High fastball.
Yeah, Wilson dropped down a little bit, trying to get Span to chase that high fastball.
Another nice block by Trainer. And it's 2-2.
I went to that slider. I had an account trying to see if Span would chase it, but the Trainer get blocked.
In the inning so far, 3 singles and a walk, but so far just 1 run on the board.
This would be a good time to try to hit that limestone behind the home plate.
2-2 to Span. And now a full count, and Span won't go fishing on that breaking ball. And Trainer's having a challenge here in the 6th inning. Full count with the bases full and only one out. And Wilson wants to talk to Trainer. Can't blame him for that. The game and the Twins lead and how big it's going to be here for the final 3 innings hangs on this pitch.
Yeah, he's right at 97 pitches too, so this is a big out for him.
Span steps out of the box. Three and two to Denard Span. And a bases loaded walk will get Young in from third. And that'll be the end of the day for C.J. Wilson.
Yeah, that's the 12th time this year the Twins have drawn a walk with bases loaded. Span, great at bat. Wilson, they'll do a pitch by pitch. Fouled off that first pitch, a fastball away, then a fastball up. Span was behind in the count. Remember, there's ball 1, then ball 2, and then Wilson comes back with another breaking ball to make it 3-2. And then he missed low.
Couple for the Twins and a 3-run lead. The Texas Rangers on the mound with Kirkman, one of 3 left-handed relievers, actually 4 left-handed relievers they have, coming into the ball game.
Yeah, Michael Kirkman put right into the kitchen right here as far as getting hot, right? Bases loaded, 1 out, making just his 7th major league appearance. He got called up on August 20th. This is his 6th year of pro ball, signed by the Rangers back in 2005. Young man at 23 years old, pretty good fastball. He'll mix in a good hard slider, curveball, and a split finger.
White Sox have tied up the Red Sox at Fenway Park. Here's a drive to center off the bat of Hudson. Bourbon goes back, makes the catch, and a sacrifice fly that will advance all 3 runners. So Hudson, who came up in kind of a similar spot in the second inning and didn't get a run in, gets the run in here in the 6th and more.
Yeah, he made sure this time. He was a little more aggressive at the plate. Last time he got underneath the pitch and popped it up in the 5th inning. Here, he got his barrel of the bat out and hit it deep enough to where everybody could advance one base. For Hudson, his 34th run driven in.
So here's Mauer. 0 for 2 hit by a pitch. Facing Kirkman, a different left-hander, trying to drive in 2 more with a hit to the outfield. Breaking ball wide. One and 0 to Mauer. Checked his swing, I think. Nope. Strikes is Alfonso Marquez. Pretty impressive road trip for the Chicago White Sox. They're 5-0 on the road. We'll take a look at the check swing strike call. They're 5-0 on the road, and they've come back to get a couple in the 9th against Jonathan Papelbon to tie game 3 of that series. Swept the Indians, and they may come back and sweep the Red Sox. Down low, 2-1.
That's a big series for the Red Sox too, as they're falling, behind the Yankees and the Rays in that Eastern Division.
Alexi Ogando warming up. There's a strike on the outside corner to even the count.
Joe kind of questioning that call right there. Kirkman with that fastball.
Three on the board for the Twins here in the 6th. There's 2 more out there for Mauer. Drive to left, and Murphy makes the catch. Mauer's hit a couple of bullets here. He hasn't got a hit to show for it. And the Twins lead it 6-2.
Look at that divot. Wow. And I love this reaction after he kind of backs away and looks at it. There you go, Ken Herbert. You were hereby circled.
All those years on the artificial turf.
He's a classic, I'll tell you.
Maybe it was a good thing he was on artificial turf.
Man that loves life.
Well, the Twins have opened up now a 4-run lead, and while the Twins are doing all that, the White Sox have tied it up against the Red Sox. They're still batting in the top of the ninth. It'll be Matt Trainer leading things off against Nick Blackburn.
Well, Blackburn having his first 1-2-3 inning in the top of the 6th inning. 10 ground ball outs, 5 fly ball outs for Blackburn, with 3 strikeouts in the game.
Strike 2. Well, Blackburn seems to have recovered nicely after his relief appearance. Actually threw a pretty good pitch. There's Larry DeVito, the head groundskeeper, target field. They don't make a divot repair tool that big, do they?
After Herbie got up, he kind of like did the shovel, dig a hole.
1-2.
Well, again, it was Trainer that hit the 2-run single off of Blackburn in the 2nd inning. The only runs that Blackie has allowed.
And Trainer's actually stung the ball twice against him. The single was sharply hit, and so was his line out to Span on the 4th.
97 pitches for Nick Blackburn. Trying to get through the 7th inning here.
And he misses outside 2-2. It'll be Trainer. And then Bourbon and Guzman scheduled. And the Rangers playing this series finale with John Roush warming up. Josh Hamilton out with some rib issues. Elvis Andrus hamstring issue. And he comes inside to get a swinging strike 3, 1 away.
Good movement on that pitch right there. And Blackburn picking up his 4th strikeout. So everything is away, and then he throws that, boy, nasty 2-seamer inside.
Today's high-speed pitch brought to you by Comcast.
Yeah, both starters clocked as high as 93, Wilson and Blackburn.
Julio Bourbon takes low, ball 1. Bourbon, the bouncer to Cuddyer, actually hit the ball pretty sharply. Cuddyer did a nice job snagging it, turning it into an out. Then he tried to bunt, advance the runners, but the bunt came with 1 out, so he wasn't granted a sacrifice. 2-0. And a called strike. Bourbon at the start of the year was hitting leadoff for the Rangers, and one of the reasons they had to move him out, he simply wasn't drawing any walks. He's got 352 at bats. He's only walked 15 times. And he chops one here to Cuddyer for an easy 2nd out. Arby's trivia involving triples. And with Guzman coming to the plate, I think we've tipped our hand.
Well, you said Rod Carew and Christian Guzman. I mentioned Greg Gagne. But it was Rod Carew and Christian Guzman. I tell you, that's one of the prettiest things as a player, when I first came up to watch Carew hit a triple, the way that he just glided around the bases.
Guzman has lost a lot of his speed. And I will always remember the little swinging bunt he hit in front of home plate against Cleveland. He ran to first. They hurried the throw. The Indian pitcher, whoever it was, threw it beyond first base, and Guzman ran all the way around and scored a run, and he only hit the ball about 18 feet.
Yep.
And that one gets by Cuddyer and rolls into the corner. And Guzman has 2, and he'll be held there. Oh, come on, just for old time's sake.
Yeah, try it.
A 2-out double for Christian Guzman.
I think he knew better. And one thing that we have seen from Repko, he does a good job at getting to the ball, and then he's got a very accurate arm and a strong arm. Ball left middle in, but Guzzi going down to hit it into that corner in right field. There's Repko getting it back in as quick as he can. It's a double for Guzzi, his first extra base hit for the Rangers this year. He had 11 doubles for the Nationals.
Here's Michael Young, singled his first time up. Pokes a foul, 1 strike. Just another solid year for Young. His 8th year with at least 30 or more doubles.
Yeah, going to the All-Star game, you mentioned 6 Rangers going to the All-Star game. This is nothing new to him. It's his 6th time he's made the All-Star team for the Rangers. Pretty good trade that the Rangers made way back in 2000 when they traded Esteban Loaiza to the Toronto Blue Jays for this young player right here, Michael Young. Young in his 11th season with the Rangers.
Two strikes to Young. Well, we had Gary Gaetti up here, and at least I said, one of the things I felt was really nice for him to win a championship after suffering through some lean years. To a lesser extent, you feel good about what's happened with the Rangers for guys like Young, who've been on some pretty awful teams and teams that haven't pitched well. They really haven't had a chance to do anything. Now it looks like Michael Young's going to the playoffs.
Yep. Won the batting title in the American League back in 2005 when he hit .331.
Driven to right center field. Repko chasing it, and he's got it. So another scoreless inning in the 7th for Nick Blackburn. Might be his last inning of work. He did a really good job here this afternoon.
Runs scored for the Twins in the first inning. A big 2-run double right there by Michael Cuddyer. Matt Trainer, the catcher, in the second inning. A 2-run single that scored a couple runs. J.J. Hardy with Michael Young in, looking for the bunt, hit that ball over his head. The Twins scored 3 in the 6th inning to have that 6-2 lead. Nick Blackburn, 110 pitches in 7 innings, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. His afternoon is done. 11 ground ball outs for Blackburn, 6 fly ball outs with 4 strikeouts.
Michael Cuddyer will lead things off in the 7th. Ogando, hard-throwing right-hander, will face Cuddyer, Kubel, and Young. And he snaps a fastball over 1 strike.
Yeah, Alexi Ogando pitched here on Friday night. He faced only 1 batter, gave up a base hit. That was to J.J. Hardy, I believe.
Cuddyer taps it to 3rd. Young fires, and a very close play. Cuddyer retired, 1 away.
Oh, Young, who came up as a second baseman, moved over to short where he won a Gold Glove. And right here now at 3rd for the Texas Rangers. Makes a nice play. Comes in on the run. A good stretch right there by Moreland, getting Cuddyer out. The first out here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Here's Kubel, a pair of singles against C.J. Wilson in his return to the lineup. And a fastball wide of the plate. And he's getting 3 runs in the 6th inning to push the lead out to 4 runs. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Sliced foul. White Sox have gotten a bases loaded walk in the 9th inning. They've taken a lead on Boston, 6-5. They've knocked Jonathan Papelbon out. They still have the bases loaded. On this road trip where the White Sox swept through the Indians, if they end up winning that ball game, that's going to be a big, big boost for them. Go Boston and perhaps sweep the Red Sox. That's why we all do it, at least guys in my chair do. You tend to compare schedules and you think, oh, well, so-and-so's got the toughest schedule and all this. And it really doesn't matter, because who would have thought the Red Sox would be as crippled as they've been? They don't have their typical lineup. And that said, the White Sox feel pretty good about being down a couple in the 9th with Papelbon on the mound and taking lead. 2-2 to Kubel. And he golfs it to first. 2 down. So as it is now, still batting in the top of the 9th, the White Sox have a 1-run lead. And they started the day 3.5 games behind the Twins.
Yeah, again, they won that doubleheader yesterday, the day-night doubleheader, 3-1. That was the score by both teams. And John Danks and Gavin Floyd both pitched very good.
It's a Chevy game break. 2 down, and here's Delman Young. Young 1 for 3. The average right at 300. Missing inside, 1-1. Young singled and scored in the 6th. Another bases loaded walk, and it's 7-5 Chicago. 1-2 from Ogando to Young.
Well, this is a time of the season too, Dick. As a player, you watch the scoreboard.
Oh, sure.
And you say, boy, look at those White Sox. But you know what? You can't take care of anything that happens over there. You can only take care of what's happening here, and that's what Ron Gardenhire will say. You know what? Hey, good for the White Sox, but we take care of business. You don't have to worry about the White Sox. It's going to be a great 3-game series in Chicago on this next road trip. It'll be the only time these guys play each other the rest of the year.
And Young slices his foul, but it's part of what makes this so much fun for a baseball fan. You're sitting here in the ballpark. They got a great scoreboard here at Target Field. And so the Red Sox add a run and people start applauding. I mean, they're watching the game in front of them, but they're also watching the updated scoreboard.
Yep.
You know, the fact is, the race in the American League Central right now is about the only race there is.
Well, I don't know. Watch those Padres. Padres are lost
in the American
League. Yes.
But who's going to win the division, New York or Tampa? It really doesn't matter. They're both going to be in the playoffs.
Right.
And so you've got the White Sox and Twins battling it out. Texas with the 8-game lead in the West. It's really the only thing worth watching in the American League. Yeah, the Padres losing 9 straight.
Right.
Young strikes out. Twins are done in the 7th. They take a 4-run lead to the 8th.
Here by the Twins dugout. Twins leading this one 6-2, and Michael Cuddyer today making his 57th start at first base, and he's been a real Iron Man for the Twins, not having a day off since Memorial Day. And I talked to him this morning about playing first base and the benefits, and he said the biggest benefit, believe it or not, Tickerbert, is that it's closer to the dugout. He says when he has to play right field, that's 300 feet. You do that 18 times a game, that adds up to a mile. And you stretch that out over the season, that's 164 miles he has to log just to get into position. Now, I just counted now when he walked out to first, it was 18 steps for him.
Wow.
I tell you what, and what a job he's done over at first base. Again, he did it last year in September, and he's doing it again for Justin Morneau, who was missed.
David Murphy takes a ball, then a strike from John Roush. Murphy, Guerrero, and Cruz facing the Twins relief pitcher, Nick Blackburn. Just 2 runs allowed in 7 innings. And a called strike, 1-2.
Well, great job by Nick Blackburn. 7 very good innings, only 2 runs allowed, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts.
A little roller to second. Hudson has it. 1 down. Fans, the Twins Wise organization is auctioning off a one-of-a-kind quilt comprised of 2010 inaugural season Homer Hankies and is signed by nearly every member of the Twins, including Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau, Jim Thome. The proceeds from the quilt will help rebuild a baseball field in Wadena. It was damaged in the middle of June. To bid on the quilt, visit twinsbaseball.com and click on auctions. Ball 1 to Vladimir Guerrero.
Time of the game here too, Dick, that the shadows come into play. I think we've seen it over the last couple innings.
The Twins have had some unusual start times here with the mid-afternoon start yesterday, a little bit later start today because of the Legends game.
Merrill stepping out of the box right there to retie his shoes. Boy, he swung hard at that one.
1-2. Foul tip. And Mauer hangs on, and that's out number 2.
And John Rouse picks up a strikeout. Well, over the years, you see Vladimir Guerrero, and I'm surprised he missed that pitch right there. I mean, he's got Tony Oliva type of strike zone, Kirby Puckett sometimes type of strike zone. They swing at everything. And a lot of times they'll hit it with the barrel of the bat. He missed that one.
Here's Nelson Cruz. Rangers from here go to Toronto to play the Blue Jays in 4 games. Down and away, 1-1. Off the end of the bat, and a little bouncer to Hardy.
Good inning.
Cruz retired. John Rouse with a quick 1-2-3-8. High school football kicked off this week in Minnesota, and you can watch games streamed live each week on FoxPreps.com. See Prep Sports live or check it out later on demand, and you can download the new Fox Preps app right now. Go to FoxPreps.com and get it live. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Twins leading by 4. It'll be the bottom third of the lineup. J.J. Hardy, Matt Tolbert, and Jason Repko.
Yeah, Dustin Nipper asked to pitch the bottom of the 8th inning here, making his 30th relief appearance. He worked in yesterday's ball game. An inning and a third. He threw 19 pitches, 10 for strikes.
Hardy will lead things off. He scored a couple of runs, 1 for 2. Hit the ball hard for an out. Then he chopped one over the head of Michael Young and might be the biggest at bat of the game. Twins leading by a run at the time, but it opened the door for a 3-run inning. And Hardy takes one for strike 1. Slow curve and a high fly lifted to center field. Bourbon going back. And makes the catch. 1 away. And that'll bring up Matt Tolbert. Tolbert, a quieter day at the plate. In fact, he hasn't put a ball in play yet. He's walked and struck out twice.
Well, Dustin Nippert just activated here in September. He spent a lot of time on a disabled list when he got hit in the head by a line drive off the bat of Austin Jackson back in the middle of July. That's always a scary thought, boy.
He was dealing with concussion symptoms and had to take his time coming back. His fans and Justin Morneau know all about that. 2-0. Here's a deep drive to right field. And caught right at the fence by Nelson Cruz, out number 2.
Boy, we have yet to see that limestone come into play on a high fly ball like that. We've seen line drives hit off it a couple times. But again, that limestone out in right field, it does come out maybe about 10 feet. And this ball right here, you're hoping, I'm hoping right here to see it for the first time, but Cruz going back and making a catch right against the wall. You see the limestone right there. Comes up a little short.
Here's Jason Repko. I remember in the Yankee series here, Nick Swisher catching a high fly ball under the overhang, and that's the closest one I've seen come. I don't want to say off the bat of Jason Kubel, who just missed a home run. Well, we've got some fans behind home plate who put a sign behind home plate, but that won't last very long.
No, and I think those fans will be asked to leave too. That's right where I was sitting yesterday. Great seats down there.
Did you have a complete game back there?
Yes, I did.
You did. You were there for the whole game.
Yes, I was.
Okay. You didn't get tossed out in the 7th or 8th inning. Unruly behavior or anything like that.
Gale got thrown out, but I didn't.
1-1 to Jason Repko.
Ouch. What a great sound. Repko will be getting some new lumber.
1-2. Well, the White Sox completed their sweep over the Red Sox, impressively scoring 4 runs in the 9th. Jonathan Papelbon finished the 8th, started the 9th, couldn't finish it. And so while the Twins have been at home and enjoying what they hope will be a 5-1 start to a homestand, the White Sox have been perfect on the road. They swept the Indians and today swept the Red Sox. 1-2. Just outside, 2-2. And now 3-2. If the Twins can finish off this ball game, they'll maintain their 3.5 game lead in the Central. And a bouncer up the line. Matt Guerrero warming up in the Twins pen. Tom Roush pitched a good 8th. Let's hope that Guerrero can pitch a tidy 9th. Popped up wide at first. Moreland in foul ground with room. Makes the catch. And Nippert has a 1-2-3 bottom of the 8th. It's a 4-run lead as we go to the top of the 9th. partly cloudy day here at Target Field. The Twins hoping to complete a 3-0 home or 3-0 series against the Rangers. 6-0 overall against Texas here in this ballpark. John Roush starting the 9th inning, delivering ball 1 to Ian Kinsler.
He only needed 11 pitches to get out of the 8th inning, but Blackburn, he worked the first 7. Outstanding innings for Blackburn. Gave up the 2 runs in this ball game in the 2nd inning to the Rangers, and he put up zeros.
Kinsler, Moreland, and Trainer to hit for Texas here in the 9th. It's pulled down the line, but foul.
You know, we saw Matt Guerrero get up. Now Jesse Crane's getting up, and you know, they worked in every game in that Tiger series, and they needed a break. You see, Jesse, I'm sure Matt just got a little throwing in. A great job by Matt Fox. You know, 5 2/3 innings. They were not needed in that first game here on Friday, and then yesterday, Carl Pavano, 8 very good innings. Rob Delaney getting an opportunity to make his major league debut.
Kinsler pulls a base hit to left, leading off the 9th inning. Twins fans know that targets have been hard to come by here at Target Field. There are some tickets available for the Royals series. Twins and Royals will play Monday afternoon, Tuesday and Wednesday evenings, and there are limited tickets for the series. We told you earlier about the Senior Day promotion tomorrow. Log on to twinsbaseball.com or call 800-33-TWINS to order tonight. Specifically tomorrow, Labor Day, for most families that have school kids, the last day off before the school year starts, but a nice treat to get the family out for some baseball at Target Field, particularly if you haven't been here yet.
Yeah, it'll be Kevin Slowey tomorrow for the Twins, coming off the disabled list against Sean O'Sullivan for the Royals.
2 strikes. If the Twins win this game, there'll be just 2 teams with better records in baseball than the 80-57 record the Twins would post. The Rays and Yankees. There's nobody in the National League that would have a record equal to or better than the Twins. Two strikes. And now a ball. It would be the Twins' 45th win at home.
Yeah, right now 44-23.
We talk so much about the Twins' record within the division. It's been very good, 35-19. But not as good as the record in the American League West. If the Twins win this game, they will have gone 23-10 against the American League West, with a series left against the Oakland A's here. One and two. And I suppose that the score of this game has caught the attention of those in Oakland watching the Angel A's game. This series started with the Rangers up by 10 games, and if the Twins hang on and win this game and the A's come back and win theirs, well, now it's 7 games with 4 weeks to go.
Yeah. Well, right now the Angels have a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning in Oakland.
Last year on September 6th, the Twins were 7.5 games out. Came back, caught, and eventually, thanks to the extra game, passed the Tigers. 2-2, and Moreland swings through it. Strike 1, or a strike 3 for the first out of the 9th inning.
And Roush finally getting him. A long battle between Roush and Moreland, and Roush picks up his 2nd strikeout.
So 1 gone, and that brings up Matt Trainer. Sticks a fastball on the outside corner.
You know, during the Legends game, John Roush was out in right field, and Dan Gladden went over to talk to him. And you don't realize how big this man is. Dan Gladden looked like his son. Like a 4-year-old son.
2 strikes.
6'11", John Roush. It's not only the height, it's just
shoulders are huge.
My goodness.
And Trainer quickly gone on a strikeout, 2 down.
That's strikeout number 3. Good slider right there, down and away. Joe Mauer held it. And Tim Timmons, a home plate umpire, called it strike 3. Good pitch.
You wonder what the thinking or discussion was regarding sending Roush out for the second inning. Matt Guerrero was warming up. Now Jesse Crain is warming up. Maybe to get some work in. Matt Capps out there now. I'm sure in case things develop, and with one more man at reach, Capps would have possibly been brought in for a save situation.
I think Matt and Jesse were just getting some work in.
Right.
Again, they haven't worked the last couple of days. They were overused, I think, in that Detroit series.
That's to left field. Delvin Young's chasing it, and he's not going to get there. So here's Bourbon with an extra base hit, and a run is going to score, and now a save situation would be presented for Capps, with it being a 6-3 game and the tying run in the on-deck circle.
A high fastball right there. Bourbon picks up his first hit of the ball game. It's an RBI double. His 10th double of the year. Just taking that fastball the other way.
So Guerrero and Crain just getting some work in, but Capps warming up in earnest, and he's going to be brought in here in a 6-3 game with Christian Guzman due up, and always dangerous Michael Young on the on-deck circle. So a couple of hits and a run for the Rangers in the ninth. And Matt Capps will try to pin it down and pick up a save. Game, hoping to extend the game and get the tying run to the plate against Matt Capps.
Well, Matt Capps picked up his 8th save for the Twins here on Friday night, where he had to work a little extra. Inning and 2/3, he did give up a couple hits. No runs with a strikeout, but he threw only 10 pitches, 9 for strikes in that outing. The Twins ended up beating the Rangers 4-3. Capps making his 17th appearance for the Twins.
Guzman, after Bourbon's 2-out RBI double, hoping to get aboard by any means to get Young up to the plate, representing the tying run. John Roush got 5 outs, and now Capps hoping to get just one quickly here and get the Twins off the field. 1-0 to Guzman. 2-0. Guzman and Capps, of course, former teammates, both with the Washington Nationals earlier this year. And the fans trying to encourage Capps.
See, this is what I was talking to Jeff Reardon about, how fans can really come into play. Believe me, Capps hears this. You know, the fans, after he fell behind 2-0, they got on their feet and they go, let's go, those strikes. We're behind you. Very nice.
2-1 to Guzman. A base hit to right. And Bourbon is going to score, and Michael Young comes to the plate as the tying run. Both runs charged to Roush. Capps fell behind Guzman and paid the price.
He came back with another fastball, and Guzzi sounded like he broke his bat, but he got that ball out to right field, picks up an RBI. His first RBI as a Texas Ranger.
So on a day when the White Sox score 4 in the ninth to turn a game around at Fenway Park, the Rangers are trying to do something similar here in the ninth at Target Field. Michael Young 1 for 4. And Capps with a breaking ball gets strike one.
Now, Capps did not face Michael Young here on Friday night.
Young facing him for the first time. Bouncer left side and through. And the Rangers aren't done yet. Now they throw behind Guzman, and Hudson has to field a short hop. So 4 hits in the inning. And Murphy comes to the plate with Guerrero in the on-deck circle.
Well, Young jumping on a fastball, getting his second hit of the ball game, finding that hole. Tolbert was kind of guarding the line.
Young gets his second hit. Murphy 1 for 3 with a walk. Just off the plate, ball 1. Jesse Crain warming up for the second time in earnest. Popped up, a foul ball and out of play. 3 straight 2-out hits for the Rangers. They've given them some hope and some anxiety in the Twins dugout and all around Target Field.
Yeah, Rangers have out hit the Twins 10-7.
Roush with a clean 8th. The Rangers touched him for a couple of runs here in the 9th. Twins in the no doubles defense, meaning Kadires about 3 feet off the line at first. 1-1 to Murphy. 2-1.
That slider just missing low. How about one of those sacrifice flies? I think that's a good call.
2-1 to Murphy. 2-2. fans. Some of them had sat down. Now they're back up again. Two and two to David Murphy. Three and two with Vladimir Guerrero on deck. And remembering, of course, that Josh Hamilton unavailable to play today because of the rib injury. Now the runners will go, and Young will have a head start from first. His is the only run that matters. Slap down the left field line, but foul. And you can have all the no doubles defense you want, but you can't really defend something like that. That was perilously close to tying the game.
Yep, not a bad pitch either, down and away, and Murphy just went with it.
Another 3-2 from Matt Capps. Bouncer, foul.
The Capps went fastball away. Murphy hit it down the left field line right there. Fastball down and in. And he just hit it foul down that first base line. Well, fingers crossed.
Even Jeff Reardon said he was nervous in Game 7 of the World Series. He's a little fidgety.
Yeah.
Another 3-2 to David Murphy. And they are loaded up for Vladimir Guerrero. 4 straight batters have reached. And the tying run now in scoring position. And here comes Rick Anderson. Stillness has come over Target's Field.
The game of baseball. My goodness.
Guerrero has struck out twice, hit a couple of ground balls. One turned into a double play.
Yeah, dangerous hitter, Vladimir Guerrero. Came into this year a career .321 hitter in his 15th season.
This season he's 9 for 15 with the bases loaded. The outside corner, ball 1. Barring a third out, Nelson Cruz is in the on deck circle. He'd hit behind Guerrero. Back up the middle. Knocked down by Hudson. They throw behind a runner, Young, and he is out. They're calling him out for running into the third base coach. The game is over. Young made contact with the third base coach, and the third base umpire, Alfonso Marquez, is calling the out. Dave Anderson contacting the runner. One of the most unusual endings to a game you will ever see.
That was a great heads-up play by Orlando Hudson. He had no opportunity to get Vladimir Guerrero, but he knows that Young right there is going back. And it looked like they touched hands right there. And
that
saw it.
The rule is the rule. Here's a good play by Hudson, and alertly throwing over. If he doesn't field the ball, the third base coach doesn't make contact. An incidental contact, if ever there was, but a rule is a rule, and the Twins will benefit because of it.
Right there.
But
he's pointing
at the point of contact, Marquez was not looking at the contact. Let's take a look at this one more time. It appears to be the right call, but watch where Marquez is looking. If he saw it out of the very corner of his eye. Look at that. He's not even looking at the contact.
Maybe right there he is. He might be looking right there.
Yeah. Wow.
Unbelievable finish.
Well, I've never seen one end that way. Jim Rich is down on the field with Michael Cuddyer.
Thank you very much, Dick, and what a finish here today for the Twins that got a bit hairy there in the ninth inning, but you guys get out of it.
Yeah, you know, they're a great team. The Rangers are a great team. We're never out of it with that offense. Fortunately, we were able to get out to an early lead, and we were able to hold it there at the end.
Yeah, this team leads the major leagues in runs scored in the first inning. Talk about how this team prepares themselves for a start of a game.
Well, you know, you just get ready. You got to be ready from the first pitch, and that's what we pride ourselves in doing, is being ready from the first pitch all the way to the last pitch. And, you know, it pays off because we get out to early leads, and, you know, if we are down, we never feel like we're out of it.
You were named one of the top 50 Twins this year, and this weekend was all about the 50 top players in Twins history. What was it like to take part in this weekend and see that Legends game here before your game today?
It was an unbelievable honor. I mean, to be able to be recognized in the class of those guys, and, you know, just everybody that's put on a Twins uniform, to be considered one of the best is something that I'll always be able to take with me for the rest of my life and really cherish it for the rest of my life. And in seeing these guys out there playing again, you know, you realize what we're going to be like here in a few years. And, you know, but some of those guys were good. Some of those guys were hitting it pretty well.
Michael, congratulations on the win today, and congratulations being one of the top 50 Twins in 50 years.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, that's Michael Cuddyer. Twins get the sweep over Texas.
Our Verizon player of the game, the winning pitcher, Nick Blackburn, who had pitched well in the rotation and joined the bullpen for one night only and back in the rotation today.
Yeah, I guess even, you know, his record this year, even now at 9-9, but Michael Young called out 5 unassisted coaches' interference at third base. So,
you ever seen that?
No, I had never.
And to end a game that way.
Remember I said we need some luck?
An unbelievable